Cursed. Cursed. We all go a little mad sometimes.
There's a formula to it. A very simple formula.
I saw the boogeyman. I saw him outside.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Tomb of Terrors with me, Old Man Brad. Whether you are new to the show or returning for another episode, thank you so much for giving me a listen. If you love the show, drop me a review on your favorite podcast app. Or you can support the show at patreon.com/oldmanbrad. Of course, make sure you follow me on social media. Just look for Old Man Brad or Tomb of Terrors on Blue Sky and Instagram. And Letterboxd. I mean, you want to see all the watches I do, so follow me over there on Letterboxd. Back with more Paul Naschy. I've heard it both ways, but we are in July. This will be the 7th one of all of the films I will be doing on this Year of Naschy over here on the main feed. I have additional ones coming to YouTube and over on Patreon. But of course, I couldn't do this alone. I have another guest as we talk Curse of the Devil. I want to welcome back Derrick from Bad Movies, Worst People to talk about this one. How you doing today?
Good. How's it going? Ready to talk about sexy werewolves?
Last time you were here, we were taking a train ride.
Yeah, this was a lot more enjoyable.
It didn't have a song that would get stuck in your head over and over again.
I still have that song pop into my head randomly, and it's just awful.
It will forever.
At this moment, I can't remember it, and that's good, because as soon as I remember it, it'll come right back.
So let me ask you, what has your history been with Paul Naschy movies?
This is actually only the second one I've seen. The first one was Werewolf versus Vampire Women, which you ended up buying for me because I was like, this isn't for me. I like this one a lot more.
Okay.
But this is only my second one. I love horror, but werewolves and vampires have always been my least favorite things.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Interesting. Well, those movies are almost like kind of like zombie movies. They're like a dime a dozen. There's countless ones out there.
Yeah. And I mean, the great ones, obviously, I love American Werewolf in London, stuff like that. But like The Howling. But like when it comes to a lot of the older ones, I'm just like, so.
Okay. Paul Naschy did many werewolf movies. He did 12 of them. This is the 7th one of his Waldemar Daninsky series. And kind of they don't tie together much, but this is kind of a reboot of the origin story. It was one of those, it just kind of started over, because the other ones up to this point, he's just kind of either come back to life or he's just already had this mark and started. Now it's like, okay, we're going to just start this origin over again.
Oh, so it's Werewolf Begins kind of thing. Yeah, okay.
Although the Spanish title for it, El Retorno de Walpurgis, translates to the return, which wasn't really a return. I mean, it is the 7th movie, but it has nothing to do with the other films that came before it, since they just started it over. But, we'll get into that. That's kind of how they've all gone. They're all different in a way.
So he's like the Spider-Man of werewolf movies. We just keep starting over.
I guess, yeah. He's just like, I just want to make another werewolf movie.
Although it's the
what
same
can we
actor,
do?
So
keep it the same character, but change it, but not. All right, so you have seen a werewolf, one of his werewolf movies.
Yeah.
Which I think that was the 2nd or 3rd episode that I did in this. That one I did enjoy. It was a very slow burn, much different than this one. This one is a lot bloodier than that one was. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think I didn't hate it. It just kind of like fell in the middle for me.
Okay.
And I was just like, I think at the time you were talking about doing all these, and I was like, I've got one if you want it, because I'm trying to get rid of stuff. I got too many things. And it's just, I knew it was one I wasn't going to watch again, even though it was fine. This one I would probably watch again. This was a lot of fun. There's a lot more death and boobs.
Yes, there is. That is for sure. All right, let's dive into Curse of the Devil.
The curse of the devil. Satan in control of the body and the mind.
Light the fire. Send me to my master. Take me, Satan. Take me. And doom the Daninskys forever.
A man whose ancestors executed a witch is turned into a werewolf by modern-day descendants of the executed witch. This is directed by Carlos Ared in what I read was the last movie he ever did with Naschy, and they not really had a falling out, but he just kind of stopped talking to him. Paul, in his book, said he didn't know why. I guess they made amends months before Carlos Ared died, and still to this day, he's like, I don't know, which is kind of odd. Anyway, looking it up, that won't be the last film that I have directed by him, because previously I did Horror Rises from the Tomb that he did with Paul Naschy, and I will be doing Blue Eyes of a Broken Doll here in a couple months, also directed by him. So we'll see how that one goes. It was written by Paul Naschy under his real name, Jacinto Molina, and it stars Paul Naschy, Fabiola Falcone, Martiza Oliveras, and others. I'm not going to try to say all the other names.
I always feel bad. I'm like, I'm going to butcher all these, and I'm going to sound like a jerk, but I'm not trying to be.
Especially when I just like, you know what? I'm going to do a whole bunch of Spanish movies. But this was released in 1973. It didn't release in the U.S. until 1976 under Curse of the Devil. It was also released under other titles in other countries as Night of the Diabolical Orgy, Death Claws of the Cruel Wolves, Night of the Killer, and Mark of Dracula, which that one's kind of weird because Dracula is nowhere in this movie. Or vampires. They're like Satan worshipping kind of witches and gypsies. So
yeah, there's witches and werewolves, no vampires.
As I said, it was the 7th movie in the Waldemar Daninsky series. And then even though it translates to Return of the Walpurgis, it's more of a reboot of this origin story. We start off with these kind of, I guess, knights almost kind of going after each other. The beginning scene was weird because it's very yellow tinted. And I was like, okay, is it because the film was this way, or was this how they originally released it? I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I was concerned because you invited me on, and I was like, yeah, we'll do this one. I have it from Vinegar Syndrome. I'll check it out. And this started, and I was like, dude, like it's yellow. I'm like, that's fine. I know sometimes film gets damaged. I've watched a lot of old stuff, but then it was just so bad.
It was really yellow. And then when it came to more of the, we'll put in quotes, the present day, the color got better. I was like, okay.
So it's like their version of like sepia tone back in the day,
I guess. And as I was thinking, I was like, was it still even like that? Or was that piece of the film damaged and they didn't know if when they were scanning it, of like, okay, was it supposed to be this way? Do we need to color correct it? Or do we just kind of roll with it because it changes when it goes to present day? I don't know. But it is very jarring.
This opening like night fight is so long and bad. And like, it's one of those things where like I started out and I was like, oh no. And then it kept going and I started laughing. And then it kept going and I got annoyed again. And then it kept going and I started laughing again. Like it came back around.
as they're holding their like thin dented shields and they're hitting each other.
Yeah, these aluminum foil shields they're using. These things are like, my wife was watching it at the beginning with me, and I was like, these are not even like, this isn't even like aluminum siding. Like,
yeah, I was the same way. At the way this opened, I was like, uh-oh, is this going to drop immediately to the bottom of what I've watched thus far of his? Because this is not starting off well. But it got better. It was funny, this fight, and he knocks the guy down, and then when he stabs him, thinking like, I guess the guy died, but he just stabbed him in the shoulder. And then you get what I love of all of these is that bright red paint blood, basically.
Yeah.
That's what I love that in these movies, how just red it is. And you can see, even though it's yellow, Like, it really sticks out.
Yeah.
He cuts his head off and like pulls the head up. And at that point, I was like, okay, this is just got better right there. And then you have the Satan worshippers, Elizabeth Bathory, who, I mean, in history, she's a person who used to kill young people and bathe in their blood so she could stay young, which I thought it was kind of funny that they kind of used her as that opening character, and then you don't ever see her after they kill all the witches. You don't ever see her again. Like, I don't think they reference her, do they?
No, not really. I mean, maybe it's just they knew the historical character, or they're just like people who know will be like, oh, this is that lady, and they can imagine it in their head.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of witches and they get hung, which, okay. And I was like, this is going a little harder than some of the movies I've seen of his up to this point.
I did want to talk real quick in between when they get hung, when the guy comes to bust them, because they're doing like this topless sacrifice.
Yes.
So you get topless women right out of the gate. But this, like, they're summoning, I'm assuming this is supposed to be Satan. It's just a guy in like a black, it's like the guy who's trying to hide in the back of the stage, you know, like the people who move stuff around on stage. And he's like going around and just like petting all these women, and they're doing sexy stuff to like get chosen. It was very bizarre.
It was very weird because he's just in this black jumpsuit, and then the women are going into these different sexual positions. And yeah, it's very, very odd.
But I did laugh when the guy walks in to bust them, the constable or whoever it's supposed to be, because like, so we just recorded RoboCop recently with our friend Pete, and he came in and he said something about like basically what I heard was "bitches leave," which is the line from RoboCop.
Yeah.
He came in, he was like, "We're gonna burn all of you bitches" or something, and I was like, "Whoa." This is weird. And all I could think about was Kurtwood Smith walking in and saying, "Bitches leave." And I was like, is that how they talked in the whatever this is, medieval times? I don't know.
Maybe in this movie they do.
It's the only time that's dropped.
But she puts a curse on his entire family. And then when we go to present day, there's this hunting scene that this has happened. I can't remember which film it was that this happens. Like he's hunting also and ends up shooting somebody, trying to shoot a wolf, and ends up he finds the thinking he shot an animal, and then finds it's a guy that transformed back, and he was, crap, I messed up. I shot this person. I'm like, man, this exact scene has happened in one of his other films that I've watched. And I was like, he just needed to recycle it.
Well, I loved it because it was the curse was very complicated. It was like, your descendants, one day one of your descendants will accidentally kill one of my descendants, and then my descendants will curse their descendants. And I'm like, so then when he shoots this wolf and it becomes a man, I was like, I guess he accidentally killed one of her descendants.
Yeah.
It feels like it was on purpose, but he didn't know it was a dude.
Yes.
Like this guy turns into a wolf. He turns full on into a wolf. Not like Paul Naschy later in this where he's
not a wolf
hairy man.
But they're like these, I guess they're like gypsies is kind of what they made them seem like this group of gypsy people in this that live around here.
Just like a wandering mystical people of some sort.
This is where the weird kind of black jumpsuit curse scene, because that's where she goes from woman to woman, and then the one that gets picked, that's
okay. I thought that was earlier. My bad. He
finds her later. I think it's is it on the side of the road or something like that?
Yeah, you're right, because it's modern day. That's right.
And he's like, I'm gonna bring you home, and then you're gonna get naked, and we're gonna
I found this woman in the road. I'm going to bring her back to my house so she can heal. Let's take off her clothes.
Of course.
And I also, the leader of these like mystical people just looked like Willem Dafoe. And so the whole time it's all I could see. And like, she's doing this cackling thing. And I was like, it's just Wilma Dafoe. Like and I was getting a kick out of it.
Well, I was getting mixed up between, I think it was maybe the groundskeeper he has, and then one of the gypsy guys. Like they looked very identical to each other. And I kept getting them mixed up of like, okay, which guy is this again? I don't remember.
Yeah, no, because I thought his groundskeeper / servant / whatever, the guy he's hanging out with, the guy he's hunting with at the beginning.
Yes.
I thought that guy died later, but then he was back and I was like, what? One of them has mutton chops and one of them doesn't. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But yeah, they look almost identical.
They do. It's like they could almost have been even just brothers. Who knows? Maybe they were and they just didn't explain that in the movie.
It's a small town.
It is. It is. But after he brings her back and, they get intimate and she gets naked, she's the one that's supposed to put the curse. She pulls out her wolf skull or animal skull of whatever it is, and she stabs him in the chest with it, with the bright red blood and the goopiness coming off of his chest to curse him to become ultimately a wolf man.
Going at him with the skull and like even doing the full, like, she's got to give him the mark. So I'm thinking like she's just going to stab him with the teeth, but she like moves the jaw, does like a full bite thing. I'm like, I don't know if that's necessary. I don't know if it would work. You could stab him with the teeth. They look sharp, but she's doing like a puppet thing with the helmet, the skull.
All of his movies, the Daninsky movies, he has a scar that's on that side of his chest, and the scar kind of changes for each movie. So I guess this one, they're like, well, here's how he gets it this time.
I just realized why I got those scenes mixed up, because there is another sacrifice with topless women in the witch era.
Yeah.
But then the bad guys come, or the good guys, whoever comes in and busts them. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm still thinking about it. I'm like, how did I get those mixed up? It's all good.
She's sacrificing the lady. It's cutting her on the back of her neck, filling in the chalice full of the bright red blood, because she's gonna bring back.
I was just sitting here
Satan,
thinking about it. It was bothering me.
It's okay. The one thing with these films, all of his movies up to this point, the editing on them kind of is a little iffy.
Yeah. This one gets real weird in the second half.
Yes. I think because the pace starts to pick up a lot in the second half of it. There are many times where he's the Wolfman, and then I think there's a couple of scenes he's the Wolfman, and then all of a sudden he's not, and then he is again. And you're like, hold on, wasn't he just running over here and now he's back to his place?
Yeah. Because at one point I thought there was another werewolf. So.
Oh, yes. What I did like about this is this one, they just made it's basically just a straight up, it's a monster movie. He gets a curse, he gets turned into the Wolfman, and now he's killing all these people.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I felt the beginning, they tried to put a little too much into it, trying to put the curse and what's going to happen and exposition story. But then the rest of the movie, they're like, you know what? He turns into a wolf and he's just going to kill people. We're not going to get too much deeper than that, which is fine.
Yeah, they focused on the effects, which work, because I really like the transformation. We'll get there.
Oh, yes. The transformation, I mean, the transformation is pretty cool. I mean, this is the type of transformation you've seen in many of these older ones. Lon Chaney, it's same way, like, where they just kind of superimpose slowly, put a little bit more hair on him and more hair on him, and kind of until he's the Wolfman.
Yeah, like a time lapse thing, but it looked better in this one than I remember in the other one that I watched. But I was like, it's really good, like because they had him in the same position. Because sometimes you see those and the person kind of moves around a bit because the camera's not in the right spot or the actor's not in the right spot or whatever. It was really good looking, and then they do the hands too later on, and do a lot of really cool, like he's in one shot and he's got like fur on his hand, but then he like moves his arm and it goes to another shot and then it's the full claw. So a lot of cool just cutting between them. Really well done in my opinion. I mean, it's 1973, so you're not gonna have Joe Dante's howling transformations, you know?
Yeah,
yeah.
Like, well, I don't want to say not yet, because I don't think. Even when he goes to the 80s or later, I'm sure the transformations are still very similar, but I haven't got there yet. So I'm still in the 70s with these. I did forget, after the woman curses him and she's trying to get away, the dude I guess is one of the gypsy guys who stops her and it basically just acts to her, pulls out his axe and just like,
it's this thing, the cop shows up and he's just like, there's an escaped madman on your land.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul Naschy is just like, that sucks.
Yeah.
And then like that's the guy, that guy does probably almost as much killing as the werewolf himself. Although, this time he just axes this lady up. And then of course they all are like, hey, what'd you do to Paul Naschy? And he's like, I don't know. Like, it wasn't me this time. It'll be me later. But that guy too, at first when he showed up, I was like, a werewolf with an axe? He's just a very hairy, dirty guy.
Yes. In all of his movies tend to have either some sort of vagrant people, whether it's like thieves or because there's one of his movies where this woman gets basically raped and they steal stuff from her and kill these people in a car, and another one where there's like, I don't want to say escaped people, but there's these other people that are just kind of like out of the woods that attack people. I'm like, so what was going on in Spain in the 70s? Was this like a fear of like, we better watch out for these people out in the woods because they might get us?
I mean, it's possible because I've watched some other Spanish films, Pasolini, well, he's Italian, but some other Spanish and Italian films from the era, and there's always wandering troops. There's like wandering circuses, there's wandering performers, there's random vagrants. So maybe it was just a problem in that area of Europe at the time.
It had to have been. I mean, it was during, who was it that was the head of Spain? I think it was Franco, because like that's why these films either usually take place not in Spain, they take place somewhere else because of the laws and the strict everything in Spain. And same with the clothed versions of scenes. They always shot two versions, one nude, one with the clothes, so that they could release it in Spain, whereas the nude version would go everywhere else.
Yeah. Okay.
Which the Blu-ray, just like the other ones I have the clothed scenes on it. There are a couple of them where it's just you pick which version you want. Do you want to watch the nude version or the clothed version? Like they had the full movie, not just the scenes. I'm like, who's gonna pick? But I don't know.
Maybe for historical purposes, I guess.
Well, each one I've gone in and kind of watched a couple of the scenes. Like I watched a couple of the deleted ones just to see the difference. I mean, it's the exact same scene because the first one I watched was the sacrifice scene. So instead, the woman who's kneeling down, she just has like she's covered by like a towel or something like that as she's kneeled on the platform. And the other ones, it's basically they're just wearing, whether it's like a dress or a nightgown or something, so you can't see anything underneath.
That actually just makes talking about different versions. Did you watch English or Spanish?
I watched it dubbed, just because it was later at night and my brain could keep up a little better.
Well, I looked it up because I always check with stuff like that because of this era, they're not recording sound on set anyway. It's all dubbed.
Yeah.
So I always look up to see kind of what people think the better version is or which actors are performing. And Paul Naschy still did his parts in English. A lot of the actors still did their parts in English. Obviously, there's some that are dubbed. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was like, okay, well, if the main people are still doing their own parts, then I'll just watch the English version because, yeah, it's less brain power.
Yeah. I watch it dubbed, but I still have the subtitles on to see if there's any big discrepancies that I notice, and I really didn't see.
Oh, on this Blu-ray too, they have two different subtitle tracks, one for the English version and one for the Spanish version. So
that's why
that
there was
kind of cool too. Yeah.
The second half of the movie, I mean, the pace picks up, and it's basically every time he turns into a wolf, he's going to kill somebody. And, whether he rips people's faces off or scratches them to bloody them. Like there's one where he does rip a guy's face and they show the close up of like his face just all bloodied. And I'm just like, I know it's just, you could tell it's just a red piece that they put on top of his face. But I'm like, you know what? It's still cool.
That one made me think of Ace Ventura. When Jim Carrey puts like the ham on his face and he's like, silence of the lambs. That's all I could think of. Because it's clearly just like a thing laying on top of his face.
Oh, yeah. And was it that guy that's later when they show, or is it just another guy when they find the body that is kind of decaying with the maggots on it?
That's the madman because
okay.
So he meets this girl Kinga that ends up being his like love interest, right?
Yes.
Takes her to his big secret house that nobody knows about, even though it's like bigger than my house. Freaking rich people. And like at some point her sister is trying to seduce him and she calls him out there, and that's when the madman shows up, and then he stabs the madman and the madman runs away. So from what I gathered, that guy ran off and died, and then he'd just been sitting there rotting for however long this was going on. Yeah,
which they don't
So-
really tell you. It just okay. He's pretty decayed for what seems like okay. He was in this scene, and now he is just a few minutes later. We find him all decayed.
Yeah, because I don't know how many nights full moons usually go that would like summon a werewolf, at least like full moons, but this has like 5 nights in it. So I'm wondering if it's like the initial one and then like a month later, or if it's just
That's
like
true.
every night is, I don't know.
Yeah, because
all they just keep saying is full moon.
There's the one scene where the full moon's out and he's with her, and it's one of those like you could tell he's like, crap, I gotta try to get away because he doesn't want to kill her.
That's when he like finally suddenly realizes that he's the werewolf, because for the first few he just wakes up in his house and his maid there is like, she knows it's him, but she's just like, hey, don't worry about it. Yeah, you ruined another really expensive suit. I know you were somewhere else and you woke up here. You probably drank too much, whatever she's telling him. Like, and then all of a sudden that one scene, he's like, I got to get out of here.
It's like, it's okay. Yeah, I think in that one scene, doesn't his hand change as he's trying to leave? Or he's starting to leave and his hand is
that's
changing.
the one. Yeah, he moves his hand. Yeah.
Other films that I've watched of this, pretty much every woman in this movie you see nude at some point.
It got to the point where I was wondering if we were going to see the maid nude. Like, I know it's the time and everything, so it's like she's an older woman, so like they're not going to do that. But at a certain point, I was like, well, we've seen everybody else.
Everybody else is taking their clothes off. I mean, why not?
I mean, the sister of the girl that he's like romancing or whatever, when she calls him to the house, she's just like, hey, I came here a virgin and I'm not about to leave that way, and just like drops her clothes. And I'm just like, all right, well, that's pretty forward. Because it's so funny because he's like, well, you got to choose somebody else. And then she comes out naked and he's like, well, maybe not.
Maybe not. Yeah. That's how he writes it. And he's like, okay, I have to have, sex scenes in this. As he's going on this giant killing spree, at one point he goes to like the gypsy kind of camp and kills all of them. And then the next scene, the ones who survive, they're going to each of the bodies and they're pulling the eyes out. There's the one where they get really close and you see them like dig in and they like pull it up.
That was brutal. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. I was like, this is pretty good effects for the time. Like, you go from just slapping the ham onto the face that's all red to we're going to dig this eye out and pull it up.
Yeah, it's because like they're digging an eye out of a skull. I mean, obviously it's all fake, but like it looks like they're pulling a dude's eye out of his head. It's gross.
It was pretty good. I will give it that. I think this might be the bloodiest one that I've watched thus far. The Dr. Jekyll one, he does kill a lot of people, but you don't see it like this one. This one, you see like a lot more of his bloody carnage, which, hey, I like that. And I would totally watch this again.
Maybe that's why he's doing a reboot thing, because he had the one style he'd been doing and he's like, well, people seem to like, maybe internationally or whatever, people seem to like the violence. So let's start this fresh and make it more violent. Maybe you'll experience the rest of them soon. Maybe they'll be more violent like this one is, or more bloody at least. They're all violent because it's werewolves, but you don't see anything like in the other one that I saw. You don't see much.
And I know, I mean, you can 100% tell that he heavily influenced by the Hammer films. Like, he's kind of like, I'm just going to make my own versions of that. And I know some of those, and I have to look at the time, some of those can get very bloody. So I'm wondering if it coincides. He's seeing a shift with their films and he's like, ooh, we'll add some more to mine and kind of see from there.
Yeah. Cause I mean, this one's in the 70s. I don't know when they started, but I mean, obviously it was like at least the 60s. So, maybe things were loosening up a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So you said the werewolf versus vampire woman, you said it was the second one, and that's only 1971. So.
Yeah. He was chunking these out pretty quickly, one after another. Like there were a few times where 2 would come out in a year, or if sometimes more. Like he was just cranking films.
Yeah, I was just looking at his filmography. I'm like, like 3 or 4 movies in 72. I don't know if they're all werewolf movies, but he's a busy man.
He is a very busy man. He would crank out the movies, and for the most part, like they were pretty popular at this time, especially internationally. He was known, even though, I didn't know about this guy until a few years ago. And it's like, oh, who's this guy? He's done 100+ movies. Why have I not seen or heard of any of these? Now look at me. I got hooked and I'm doing all kinds of them.
Yeah, I found out I'd only seen one other movie that he was in, and it's a giallo film, a Spanish giallo called The Killer is One of 13, which was not one of my favorites, but I saw he was in it and I went and looked and I was like, oh yeah, I remember him now. But he's not in werewolf makeup, so
maybe that was it. He didn't change. The Killer is One of 13 is one of the extra episodes I will be doing because it's part of the Forgotten Gialli volumes.
Oh yeah. That's why I have it. That's why I watched it.
So that one will be coming in the future.
We find out Kinga's pregnant.
Yes, we do find out that's it. We find out she's pregnant, and then when we get to the end, they basically kill off Daninsky. The beginning of the movie, there is a scene where it cuts to this woman and this kid kind of in a graveyard talking about the child asks about his father. And she's like, forgot what it was she said. But then we bookend it. We go back to them. And I was like, oh, I totally forgot about these people. I just thought it was like a throwaway scene at the beginning.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, I totally forgot. So this was kind of like her telling the kid the story of what happened, I'm guessing. And
the kid's got to know he's got a hairy hand.
Yeah.
So.
And then as they're leaving, they're holding hands and his hand gets hairy. And you're like, oh, a young little werewolf boy.
The whole thing with the third act, though, is like, it's crazy. Because like we said, the editing gets weird. So sometimes he's a werewolf, sometimes he's not. But whenever he is, he's killing. The maid, Malitza, tells Kinga about like, okay, so so you know, he's a werewolf. And she's like, I thought so. It's very funny.
Yeah.
But then she's got the whole like, I can fix him thing. And I'm like, no, just look, I know he went to prison, whatever. You can't fix him. Stop. No. It's just that classic, like, no, but I love him, so I can fix him. But by fix him, she means I'm going to go make a dagger and stab him.
In the previous movies, when he dies, it is his kind of like a true love that's what can kill him. So, I mean, that's kind of, he's kept that piece going with it, except usually she dies with him in the movies. They kind of like die together. Whereas this one, she kills him and he has a child that you see later, which they kind of keep it open for, could we continue this with the child? I don't think anything ever came of that. I don't even know. I'm trying to think what the next one after this is. Werewolf versus the Yeti. So it's, it's, they did not continue it with the child.
Unless that kid got real tall.
Maybe the child is the Yeti, and they, I have seen that one, but it was long ago and I don't totally remember it. So I couldn't tell you. Any other thoughts on the Curse of the Devil?
No, I mean, I like I said, I enjoyed it a lot more than the other one. It's more violent, whatever. The story made a little bit more sense. The editing does hurt. It's also like at that point, I'm like, that's fine. I'm here to see the werewolf stuff. So
yes,
I don't mind the jumping back and forth. I started following it towards the end. Like you said, you had trouble with those two characters thinking they were the same. There was a few people who I kept getting mixed up, and I just had to start because they all have this like 70s hair going on. And that doesn't help. It's the hair because I was like looking at people because I don't know any of these actors. So I'm like, all right, that's the guy with that hair. Nope, that guy's got that hair too. I started finally following it and then he killed everybody, but that's fine. I had a good time with it. I thought it was fun. It's not like one of my favorite movies of all time or anything, but it's definitely one that I'm not disappointed that I have in this box set from Vinegar Syndrome.
No, it's not. I mean, it's not the best. It is very enjoyable. It is. As I said, I think it might be the bloodiest one of his films that I've watched to this point. I think it's only like 80 some minutes long. So it's not a long watch. You can it's a quick watch. For the most part, the pacing goes pretty quickly. There are a few lulls in it, but especially that second half where he's just killing everybody. It goes pretty quickly.
I noticed on the box set that one of the other movies is Demon Witch Child, and I was like, I wonder if that continues with the kid, but that's apparently like an Exorcist ripoff. So, because I haven't watched it yet. Because as soon as I saw it, I was like, huh, what if they're like, well, let's include the kind of sequel.
Well, that's the one in that set that I want to watch because it's directed by Armando de Osorio, who did the Tombs of the Blind Dead saga. And I really like those movies, so I'm curious to see that film that he did. So out of a 5, what would you give Curse of the Devil?
I give it a 3. Like on Letterboxd, you've got your stars and you've got your little heart for liking. I'll put a heart on anything that I would recommend. And I did this 3 with the heart.
Okay.
Vampire or Werewolf versus Vampire Woman, I did 2.5 without a heart. Because I was like, it's right in the middle, and I wouldn't tell anybody to watch this unless it's what they're really into. This, I think more people could get into. You do still have to be more accepting of 70s, European horror cinema type stuff, but I think a lot more people could enjoy this, and I would recommend it. I think it's fun.
When you put it that way, yeah, I agree with you on that, because I don't think, especially not just 70s horror, but like foreign 70s horror, Italian, Spanish, it can be, compared to our movies now, like pacing itself can be a lot different. And this one is one of those that I just think anybody could just get into and enjoy. Get past that first yellow scene that's really kind of off-putting. And from there on, I'm like, okay, I'm into this now. It's cheesy, but not as cheesy as that opening scene was.
Yeah, the LARPing scene.
Yes, and I think I'm right there with you. I'd give it a solid 3. It was a good movie that I would recommend for people to check out. It's blood, boobs, werewolves, and
and you know what I didn't mention? It's shot incredibly well.
Oh yes, there are a few scenes in it that look just fantastic. Aside from the yellow.
The cinematography is great. The cinematographer and the director know how to frame and film with what they have there. And I mean, that was the thing throughout this. I was just like, this looks amazing. It looks so good. So I could really appreciate that. I also love that we finish with an actual fin.
Oh, yes,
at the end.
We do.
Doesn't say the end, doesn't say fin.
Yes.
Which is always a joke people make, but I don't see it too often.
Because I know the opening credits were in Spanish. The Blu-ray does have you could watch the English opening credits, but it's still the same yellow scene with just English words. So I'm like, okay. Well, that will do it for our Curse of the Devil. I want to thank you so much for coming on to chat Curse of the Devil and some Paul Naschy with me.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad. I hope you had a bit more fun than the train from last time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a better movie. That one's fun for different reasons.
That one, yeah, that other one was fun just to make fun of, basically.
That one was like watching a train crash. This one was like watching a movie.
There you go. Yep. Where can people follow Bad Movies, Worst People, and what you guys are doing?
So yeah, Bad Movies, Worst People. We're available anywhere you get podcasts, and if you use a service where we're not, send me an email. I'll fix that. But like, we're on all the platforms. We're on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. Basically, myself and my 2 co-hosts talk about. We watch a movie that could be considered bad. If you go look at it and you're like, I love that movie, don't worry, listen to the episode, see what we say. Basically, we use the movie as a starting point for conversations where we say inappropriate things and try to embarrass our families as much as possible. So it's all just us making jokes and being disgusting and ridiculous. But we talk about all kinds of different movies, every genre, every decade, whatever you want. Like, we've got stuff going back to the 50s. We've got stuff that just came out a month ago. We're taking part in the month of action, like with you. So this month we're talking about all action movies. Actually, we wanted to talk about a bunch of big budget, cool stuff. So I rebranded us this month. We're Action Movies, Worst People. So that way nobody can get mad.
There we go. There we go.
And also on that same feed, if you go find us and you're a Star Wars fan, we do, my co-host Jack and I do a show called Han Took Shots First, where we're talking about Star Wars from episode 1 to episode 9, all the live action stuff in order. And currently we're talking about Ahsoka, so we're getting to the end of that. So we'll have to figure out what we're doing after that.
Something will come out for you, right? It has to. I mean, there's other things in the works, but we'll.
And he's got cartoons he wants me to watch and all that, because I've never watched any of that. So, every week we have a new episode, and every other week we have a new episode of Han Chick Shots First. So there's always something on there.
Go, I'll have links in the description. Go check it out. And yeah, Month of Action. There are a whole host of shows that took part in the Month of Action. I know this doesn't hit until the end of July, but, go back and listen to everyone's Month of Action. I have a couple episodes. I recorded Shocking Dark just recently. That will do it for another Paul Naschy movie, Curse of the Devil. Make sure, if you don't already, make sure you subscribe to the show so you don't miss any of these or anything else I do over here. Reviews, interviews, tales from Tubi, verses I do with my wife. Next month for August, Antonio from Cult-Worthy Cinema is going to be joining me to talk about Blue Eyes of the Broken Doll, which we mentioned there at the beginning. Another Carlos Ared film with Paul Naschy. I'll be back soon with a brand new episode. Just snuggle up in that blanket, turn off the lights, because it's okay to be scared. We'll talk to you later, everybody.